This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important updates to share with you. $3,000 checks are going out to certain Americans. And will we receive stimulus checks if jobless claims keep going down? There's 3 big changes to Social Security that you may not have heard about. We're going to hear from Joe Manchin talking about the wasteful spending, what's going on with the debt ceiling, and everything in Congress that needs to be done. I'll play the video clip of what he says, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight to the point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So 3 changes to Social Security you probably didn't know. Let's go over this article really quick. So basically, first one, the wage cap is going up. Social Security's primary source of revenue is payroll taxes, and if you're a higher earner, you can expect to lose more money of your income to Social Security taxes, so they are going to tax the wealthier more. Then Social Security work credits require more earnings. Social Security benefits aren't an automatic perk if you're entitled to when you're older. Rather, to claim Social Security, you need to accrue 40 work credits in your lifetime at a maximum of 4 credits per year. So the value of a work credit can change over time. Last year it took $1,510 in earnings to earn 1 credit. This year you'll need to earn $1,640 to earn to score a work credit. So work credits are going up, and then the earnings test limit is rising. The first 2 changes mentioned here apply to workers who may not be collecting Social Security. This change will impact you if you're receiving benefits and working before having reached the full retirement age. The full retirement age could be going up soon, depending on what goes on with the negotiations with the debt ceiling and all that. I'll get into that later on, but first, stimulus update. How can we expect stimulus checks when jobless claims keep dropping? So, lawmakers have historically given out stimulus checks during periods when unemployment is high, and recent jobless data points to a decrease in unemployment claims, which means consumers shouldn't expect stimulus aid anytime soon. So jobless claims are decreasing. So unemployment looking pretty good at the moment. So when it comes to this, jobless claims are looking good. Unemployment is going down, which means the chances of a stimulus check in terms of related to jobless claims not going to happen anytime soon unless that big recession happens. Coping with inflation without stimulus check. Yeah, so a lot of people are still feeling the pain, regardless of the unemployment numbers, regardless of inflation slightly going down. A lot of people are still seeing high food prices, high utility costs, high rent costs. The inflation is high and it's real, but unfortunately no stimulus help. We're seeing little things like this, or actually this is a pretty big one, stimulus checks of more than $3,000 delivered in the United States. So this is, you have to send your information and application before March 31st. That is the day that is due annually. So how much is the check actually? This is the check estimated to be $3,284. This is going out in the state of Alaska. So if you are in Alaska, looks like these checks will be going. You have to provide your information before March 31st to get that check. And yeah, it's $3,284 from the region's permanent dividend fund. So if you live in Alaska, you basically just get this on a regular basis. And payment could be received as early as February 16th. Or February 8th to February 16th, depending on when you give in your information. So those are huge $3,000 checks there. And then Manchin. White House not negotiating on debt ceiling is a mistake. So yeah, we're seeing big mistakes going on both sides here. Manchin says, I think it's a mistake when asked that the White House's decision to not negotiate with the GOP, saying we have to negotiate. This is a democracy. We have a 2-party system. Seems like both parties are just mad at each other, don't want to talk to each other, and nothing is getting solved, and the American people are suffering from this childish behavior, saying we should be able to talk and find out where our differences are. Yeah, it's almost like the Republicans, Democrats are just not talking, waiting for the other side to budge, playing chicken with Americans' lives, basically. America's going to financial ruin here. Manchin looks to strike a deal with McCarthy to rein in wasteful government spending, among a few other important topics. Take a look at what Joe Manchin has to say here.
Welcome back. Every vehicle is a vehicle, to include new and easier permitting rules, so says Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, who told me exclusively this week he is in the process of setting up a meeting with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to come to an agreement on spending cuts to rein in America's record $31.5 trillion in debt, while also unleashing new permitting rules and potentially opening up the Mountain Valley Pipeline. The West Virginia senator joined me in Davos, Switzerland at the World Economic Forum this week, where he began with the U.S. reaching its debt limit this past week.
I think what we have to do is realize that we have a problem. We have a debt problem. We're at 31.4 trillion of public debt right now. And all we're saying is, should we not make sure that we all recognize how we got there? How we prevent from going further?
The Republicans say that they would like to go back to 2022 spending levels. If you go back to 2022 spending levels, that's a $75 billion cut in defense spending. Are you willing to cut defense, or is defense spending off the table?
Let me just make very clear. I'm committed to supporting Ukraine through this horrible, horrible war that they're in. And I'm determined, and a lot of my colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, are both determined. You can't start cutting back on the defense spending that we have right now. We need it more than ever right now with the geopolitical unstableness of the world. And
you've also got China rising. There's
China
that.
Continues. Yeah, we know we have challenges there. And the bottom line is it's the United States is the only superpower left in the world, identifiable superpower. And basically because we're the defender of freedom and democracies. And we have a role that's responsible.
But the White House says there's no negotiation. The debt ceiling will go up, and they're not going to discuss any options. Should the White House be sitting down with you, with your colleagues, with Kevin McCarthy, to come up with areas to cut?
I think they will. I really do. I know there's so much rhetoric that comes out that we got, and I think everyone knows we cannot default on our debt in the United States of America. The faith and will, full faith in of the government and the Treasury that we're going to pay our debts.
Why do we always get to this fiscal cliff? I mean, it's awful, right? I mean, you have all of this time to negotiate, to identify areas to cut, and then next thing we know, we're up against the debt ceiling, and we have to talk about a government shutdown.
Well, let's talk about the states. The states. I was a governor of West Virginia. We have balanced budget amendments. Balanced budget. At the end of the year, I had to be balanced. Every week, I would sit down with our finances, and we would find out what adjustments we had to make, and we would make small adjustments during the course of the year. We didn't wait till the end of the year and say, "Oh, here we are. We've got a big debt now. We got to pay for it. So let's go ahead and just." We made the adjustments, so we never got there. It's different because the federal government has a whole different role with all the responsibilities. I understand that, but you can still be fiscally responsible. We have not been fiscally responsible.
And to be fiscally responsible, you need a budget. Has Congress come up with a budget?
Well, we haven't passed one. We've come up with a lot of them. We haven't passed it. Both administrations, no matter who the president's been, their budgets has not been basically accepted. Yeah. And been voted on.
Senator, I want to turn to your priorities. Yeah. You, as the chair of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, you've been pursuing this package of reforms that would address transmission backlogs, permitting, the Mountain Valley Pipeline, while making it easier to get the drilling projects done through the permitting. You expected that to happen in exchange for your help in getting the massive Inflation Reduction Act through last year, but it didn't happen. What happened?
Well, let me just say this, that first of all, the Inflation Reduction Act was done with me and my committee. We
wrote it.
We wrote the bill. And we did that because we had the expertise and the ability to do it, and I'm chairman of the Energy Committee. We didn't make that acknowledgeable, and the whole legislative process and all my colleagues didn't even know we were working on it. And the reason why, I didn't think they would do it. I did not think that would be supported because I said, listen, I do not subscribe that you can eliminate your way to a cleaner environment. I subscribe that you can innovate your way to a cleaner, less carbon. But you're going to recognize you've got to have the horsepower to run the country. And I got when I went absolutely crazy when I saw that the administration was looking at Iran to produce more oil, we're lifting the sanctions. I said, it's the most prolific terrorist supporter in the world, and you're going to give them more money to wreak more havoc on humans?
And then Venezuela?
Venezuela does not have very good environmental standards whatsoever. We never did talk to the North Slope. We never did talk to the Permian Basin. We never talked to Alberta. These are our major suppliers, and we have the ability to be energy independent. So this whole piece of legislation was designed for energy security, for the superpower of the world not to depend on foreign supply chains, for us to run our country and to help our allies around the world as they need it. So that's what it's based around, but it was sold as an environmental bill. Well, I said, for a 10-year period, we got a two-track in that bill. We're going to basically be very, very strong as far as how we produce our fossil, whether it be oil, gas, and coal, it's still needed. And as we transition, we're going to do that cleaner than anywhere in the world. And we're going to invest in new technologies. Hydrogen has not been, and we never matured that. And we have small nuclear reactors now that work and they're very safe, low pressure. A lot of things that we can do. Battery storage we have to do. As we're capturing all this renewable energy, we don't have a chance to bring it back when we need it. We have to use it or lose it.
So were you misled on that?
I never,
in terms of the permitting promise?
No, the permitting was part of the bill. Everybody agreed to that. But then because of the reconciliation, it never fit into that because it didn't have money tied to it. That was only strictly policy.
Well, the Republicans say that it does not reduce inflation. You know that.
Well, it's gone from 9% to 6.5%. We've done something. It sure hasn't increased inflation.
It has come off of the highs, that's right. But the Committee for a Responsible Budget says that this administration and the Democrats have borrowed more than $5 trillion in just 2 years. And here we are up against the debt ceiling. I mean, where is the negotiation in terms of cutting wasteful spending? How much wasteful spending was in the IRA?
Well, no, IRA...
There was no wasteful spending in the Inflation Reduction Act?
The Inflation Reduction Act, here's what it did, and people don't recognize this either. We took, for drugs, shouldn't Medicare be allowed to negotiate for lower drug prices? Medicaid does it. VAs do it. The Veterans Administration does it. Why shouldn't that? That was a tremendous savings. It basically put a cap. It will, in the next 2 years, cap all Medicare expenditures at $2,000 out of pocket, $35 for insulin. These are things that we thought was very good, and a lot of my Republican friends did too. My Republican colleagues, the IRA, the energy portion of that bill, I'd worked with them for 5 years on it.
The energy portion, exactly. But other things in
the other things on that, as far as no more checks are being sent, okay?
No more stimulus checks.
I said, no, we've done enough. And on that so...
Was that part of the reason that inflation went to 40-year highs, all of that stimulus?
Well, we had COVID was probably the biggest driving force of that, if you want to be honest with it, because it changed the whole world. The whole world went to inflation. But inflation was something we warned very early. I told them.
You did.
We have pent-up desires to spend because we put a lot of money out.
What are your thoughts on what Joe Manchin has to say? Do you agree, disagree? Are things going to get better between the Democrats and Republicans? Do you think Joe Manchin should run as a Republican? Let me know your thoughts on all that. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys, I didn't see you there. Guys, can I tell you tip of the day because I'm still in South Carolina. I know it looks like in a different place, but let's get over it. Can I tell you the thing that you should really, really actually do when someone's hurt or you're hurt? You should really do something really good and help them out because they're hurt. You can't let a person hurt. Stay there. I know you guys would do such a great thing, even better than that. Help them up or something. And you can too. So that's all the advice that I wanted to give to you today. And also this is my sister Kalea. Say hi. Hi. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. Hopefully you're having a great Monday. We just have swim practice today, and actually my daughter Kalea, my younger one, 4 years old, is starting her first day of swim. Wanted to be just like her older sister Bella and start taking swim class. So yeah, she's going to do that. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated. And yeah, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.